Well, welcome, Donald Carr. So good to see you.
Thank you for having
Again,
me.
I'm Hilton Milan for Divine Times, and I've had the privilege of experiencing your show of one-man show of the intelligent black man,
Yes.
and it's
The
such
workshop. The workshop.
the workshop. It's
Yes.
such a tour de force that it's not. It's more than spectacular. It's almost mind blowing in a way that is mind creating or bringing things together. Now you've created this show for the Fringe Festival coming
Yes,
up.
yes.
Can you tell us about the festival and yourself? What motivated you to do this? And tell us about the show itself.
Well, the show is called
The workshop.
The workshop, but the show now is called The Autobiography of IBM, and that could be two different ways: the autobiography of intelligent black men,
Yes.
or the autobiography of an intelligent black man, single plural. And the reason why is because intelligence is a form of creativity that we need to create the world that we want from the world that we have. And I have been very fortunate to be able to have met you, because when you saw the workshop, you were so impressed and you passed that on to me. And I was so impressed because as a black artist, we do not get hardly any support in this country. And to be recognized just by you, who I thought was a man of soul, it inspired me to work harder to make sure that I don't have to depend on the kindness of strangers. And you're not a stranger anymore. The show is my second attempt at the Fringe.
Yes.
And it runs from July the 3rd until July the 14th. What is the autobiography of an IBM?
Oh, at which theater at the
It's
Fringe?
going to be at the Tarragon Theatre
Yes.
at 30 Bridgeman Avenue.
Yes. Perfect.
And so
And are there certain show times?
yes, the times are July 3rd at 8:30 p.m.
Yes.
July 6th at 3 p.m. July 7th at 6:30 p.m. July 10th at 9:45. July 11th at 7:45. July 12th at 5:45. July 14th at 12:15. And we think we're going to have an encore. I'm pretty sure. So I'm sure, thanks to you, the show is a blockbuster. It's a creative force of 25 years of putting it into words.
Yes.
IBM are intelligent black men: Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King,
Yes.
Bob Marley, and Mahatma Gandhi, and Mr. Mandela. Noble souls carved in our ebony. They're our ancestors, and
Yes.
if we do not stand on their shoulders, we cannot see where we can go. And in these days and age, we do need to stand on the shoulders, just like I'm standing on your shoulder, because you have inspired me as a man to man.
Yes.
And I took it to heart, and I've been working hard to make sure that it is the creative hit that you say and see that it is.
Even though I had the privilege of seeing your first workshop, which was a pilot, then your second one, and just seeing the growth in that, and then the second was just, like it could be on Broadway as easy as anything, and certainly really should tour the world, because the education, but the education that was both entertaining and enlightening and empowering.
Yes.
As much as it includes and it provides, for every man,
Yes.
regardless of skin color,
Yes.
to see the grace and greatness
Yes.
of noble souls, including black men.
Free people look alike no matter what color they are.
Yes.
And that's my philosophy, that we are free by being free.
Yes. And you express that freedom, not just in words, but with music, with songs that touched our heart, with movement, even with costume. Even with the limited sight that I see, it was breathtaking.
And I told it my intention was to create a play that even with the limited sight that you have, you can see clearly what I am doing. That is how you inspired me to slow down and direct my word. The play is full of knowledge and wisdom, like, and observation of life. Like, everywhere men are free, but everywhere women are in thongs. You know, I deal with women because that's the situation we have.
Yes.
And patience is a virtue, but if you have too much, it can hurt you. And we have exhibit a lot of patience. And Black Lives Matter,
Yes.
before and not 1 month of the year, every day. And so this play is a affirmation that all lives matter. And it's not a black thing. We should all understand that all lives matter. The native people, they matter because it's their land we're living on, and we should always thank God every day. Thank the Creator.
Yeah.
I was in South Africa in the 2000 doing workshops on conflict resolution. And I came back to Canada and I thought Canada is a paradise. And how I do that? Every day I give someone a gift just to prove that I do live in paradise.
Yes.
And so that is my open. I met a woman in Yorkville 10 years ago and she said, Donald, do you remember me? And I said, your eyes, I remember, but your hairstyle has changed. And she said, 15 years ago, you gave me a mango, and I've been looking forward to thank you ever since. Can I repay you? I was so touched. She remembered me, and I said, no, well, you have repaid me by remembering me, but the next time somebody asks you for help, you can help them in pay. And one hand washes the other, and together they both wash your face. So every time you extend to someone, it opens your palm to get something back. You cannot get something unless you give.
Yes. The giving that you have in the show, what are some of the underpinnings of how you personally relate?
Wow. I have been fortunate to have been blessed with love in my family. My mother passed away 4 years ago at 98. My aunt passed away at 99, 11 years and some weeks. And I just have experienced death recently. So to me, life is for the living, and we are only alive once, and it's a precious gift. And it is now. It's not when you die to go to heaven. It's now. This is heaven right here, because we are alive. And that is the underpinning of the play, is to say, here is now, we are here, this is heaven. You don't have to die to go to heaven. You have
And
to be alive.
in the recollection of the greats that you embodied and expressed, you also brought all of that heaven present and integrated for men.
Yes.
And and for men as whole and complete. And you were speaking of this, not as the as half of another,
No, as a full.
but as a full being.
Yes.
And with all of the advances that women are making, for their independence.
Yes.
Independence, when it isn't interdependence of people collaborating,
Yes.
can become very fierce and
Yes.
positional.
Yes.
And for true equality, even equality where you're forced to be exactly equal and the same,
Yes.
is not freedom.
No.
Freedom is to be able to be whole, complete, look at life,
Yes.
past, present, future, and then celebrate it in the now.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the difficulty we're having today. Yes, freedom is, there's nothing that's 50-50. And the only thing you can have as 50-50 is bread. Nothing is 50-50. And as I said, I find most of our men, we are behind. Most of us men here, we tend to be emotionally constipated.
Yes.
We tend to be vagina hostages in two ways. We are held in the womb hostage for 9 months, and we spend our time getting back there. Are we there yet? And the third group of men, even if they're gay, they're homophobic, because we cannot express, you can hear women say, I kissed a girl and I like it. And next moment they can be a porn star. Next moment they can be a mother. And they are allowed to express. Most men haven't been able to free flow with their personality. They've been stuck in being strong and silent.
Yeah. And a specific rule that limits
The possibility. But of course, the difficulty is that most men become fathers when they're not ready.
They're still boys. Yeah.
A young boy at 15 doesn't want to be a father, but it's like, hey, baby, we got to talk
Yes.
about. And now you're a father at 15 who never had a father. The underpinning of the play is also based upon two things: absent fathers, vanishing sons. All of when our fathers are absent, the son vanish, and it was based upon another thing. To my mother who fathered me. Most of our mothers have had to be mothers and fathers. And it's very hard on the male child because now he can't rebel against his mother who is his father.
Yes.
Those are the contradictions that has embalmed us in rage. And we haven't found a way to free ourselves from the shackles of the past.
Well, you've done that, and you express that, and you're shown such a way in your workshop that it frees each one of us. I know when you're up in the festival, I'm not going to come and see your show once, even though I've seen it before. I'm going to come at least 2-3 times because it's so rich in content, and you have so much. I don't know if you have so much fun, but it certainly seems like you do.
Well, let's say if you mix up the word funeral, what do you get? Real fun. So I intend to have fun with the fundamentals.
Yes, yes.
And to put the ass back into class, because you can't have mass without including ass.
These are the elements that I was just so enthralled with, that you would take things that were so limiting and expand it to become whole and free and luscious.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we should be delight. We should be delightful. I have found you to be a very delightful person. When I see you, my eyes twinkle. When I see you, I realize that when you climb a mountain, you're at the foot of another mountain. So keep climbing.
Yes.
And you have inspired me because one never grows. Okay, some people grow up to settle down 6 feet under. Artists and revolutionaries keep growing. There's no settling down.
In the art that you've expressed in this workshop, you're not only fathering, but you're honoring, the mother spirit, that's there, and brothering, and it seems to be quite a testament to your journey of being whole and complete.
Yes, it is a testament to us men. We can be whole. We do have to take interest in our soul and in our spirit and in our bodies. And most of us men do not take care of our body. We do not invest in our health. Health is wealth.
Yes.
And that is the first thing. If you do not invest in your health, you are going down 6 feet under. So, yes, we need to identify with our masculine and our feminine side because both sides come together to make a whole. So to be whole, men have to now incorporate the gentle tenderness and the fierce warrior self, which is a hard thing to do without a mentor. You're my mentor at the moment. And why would a black man need a white man to be a mentor? Teachers are teachers, and teachers teach.
And I think I said to you that it would be a disgrace for this not to be shown to the world, and because it would just gyp everybody. And we're all each other's teachers.
Yes.
And what you present in the workshop is just so, not just liberating, but it's also digging deep.
Yes, we have to dig for the shards.
And then crafting it.
Yes.
Not as magic out there, but as magic within each one of us. And then in how we're relating.
Yes.
And it's frankly, I'm so amazed. There's not like 100 words. You've got to have 1,000 words or probably more than that in your workshop that come off as such pure art.
You mean 3 hours on the stage? Yes. Well, it's a delight. And once you have internalized the words, they become your spirit. So you don't have to remember them. They become what you are. Of course, to be an artist, you either be an artist full-time or you be an artist part-time. I have been fortunate to be an artist full-time. Art has been my concubine. And of course, because I've applied for at least 900 grants and I've only got 5. I got 6,000, which I did the full Nelson with 2 other theaters, which cost $33,000. So 6,000 would have done nothing. I got 6,000, 3,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So in 40 years, I have gotten 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got $13,000 support from So that is the state of most black artists here. I've been fortunate that I live cheaply, $700 a month for 15, 20 years. But I'm happy. And my success is my happiness. To be successful doesn't encourage me, but to be happy, that is my success.
Well, you wear happy. There's colors and activity, and your hair is sort of eternally young.
Medusa.
And your smile radiant, but all of you, and then you move.
You mean
without limit or rate? Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yes.
So there is just what would be. Why wouldn't someone come to your workshop?
Oh, they do come.
No, why wouldn't? Why shouldn't someone come?
They don't want to run screaming from the theater, maybe?
Yeah, maybe they don't want to have fun.
Well, they do not know. They do not. Because the thing is, I've been working in Toronto for 30, 40 years.
Yes.
I've played gods and goddesses, raw.
Yes.
I've played characters. I do not play low energy characters. I've played basically Anansi the Spider-Man so my
Bigger than life.
yes, well, real life. I brought them into my real life, so that's
Yes.
why when I speak to you, I am all those people and wisdom that I've gained. I do not leave them there. The world is a stage, so this is our stage.
Yes.
And also being happy makes you delightful, because there's nothing as attractive as a happy person.
Yes. So in the half dozen and more characters that you introduce and embody and express and just actually celebrate, it becomes a pathway
Yes.
it did for me.
Yes.
As a pathway to realize, my gosh, this is my heritage.
Yes, yes,
In mankind.
yes. It's truth. Here's the truth. All the characters are about truth.
Yes.
The main Lucifer is the main character, but Lucifer is also Venus.
Yes.
Many of us do not know that Venus, evening star, is the same star we call the morning star. So there it is. Happy to be born with a bitter boat. Some people say I'm bound to lose if I don't hurry up and choose, but I'm happy to be born. So Venus is a double character. The intelligent black men are many characters. And even the black queen who does the opera, it's a hip hop pop opera. So there's hip hop, bebop, don't stop, boom, shaka laka laka, boom, shaka laka, and you zoom, zoom, zoom,
Yes,
zoom,
yes,
zoom.
yes.
And then there's the operatic version, the Black Queen, who's a Cassandra, and she exhibits the whole thing of what is racism and apartheid. And then there's IBM, who distill their wisdom and knowledge
Yes.
that we need to reincorporate, and they're done in rap and hip hop, so we can identify as. So it's a bold experiment in going beyond rap.
Yes. And with that, my experience of it, the music, the beat, the passion,
Yes.
but I think most importantly, the purpose.
Yes, the
And-
intention.
And that purpose was just advanced evolution, like
Yes.
in the most fun
Yes.
and honoring and colorful,
Yes.
a way that just makes everyone want to.
I think you still enjoy it, even though you haven't.
Yeah, well, I'm
Yes.
enjoying my memory of it, and and as I heard you speak of some of the elements and express some of the elements you've already covered, in the polarizing characters, and then you bring them together in a wisdom that is profoundly liberating
Yes, yes.
for each person to explore and
experience it,
express
yes.
themselves.
Because I remember with the workshop, the workshop was a 3-hour production,
Yes.
and it dealt with a lot of sexual abuse of male and female. And of course, I only have 60 minutes at Fringe, so I had to edit all those sections. But I was amazed at the amount of people, male and female, came up to me and talk about the fact that they have been abused as a young child.
Yes.
My adopted son was raped in Iran at 6
Yes.
years old, my
Yes.
friend in Mexico. And men, we don't speak about those wounds that have bedeviled us. Plus, the first wound that they have is circumcision.
Yes.
I think for men, they were assaulted when they are wounded, and they're wounded in the most vulnerable place, which is why they're. And if somebody did that to you right now, you could sue them for $10 million, and you would win.
Yes.
So why is it that someone can decapitate your head, make you a bald head,
Yeah.
Take off your forelocks and your dreadlocks, and then you should be, even when you're crying, no. But men have been abused and assaulted, and that is
And
a
men have
wound.
to be silent about it. And
Oh, yes. Well, we cry, but nobody hears our voice. So now we learn to be silent and
yeah,
stuff it in.
yeah. Or if we do cry, then we're called crybabies, and there's all this
Mama's
other,
boy.
again,
You're so
other types of
sensitive.
abuse.
That's
You know,
what
then-
many of us, we have been having to put up, and we internalize it now because we take it out on others.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man up. Be a
Yes.
man.
Yes.
So yes, those are hurts. The main thing of the IBM is that the wound that can be named is the wound that can be healed.
Yes.
And so as we name a wound, it becomes healing by naming it. And of course, truth is like sunshine. You rub it in a wound, it's gonna hurt. And too much sunshine, you're toast. But that is the way we have to negotiate our way through life. As nobody promises a rose garden. We have come a long way. Racism has taken an interest in being stopped.
Yes.
People, we now, Toronto, every building will have a disabled entrance, has to be there.
Yes.
And we thought disabled people, oh, leave them alone. Now they have a voice, we're incorporating the society.
Yeah.
And that is what we need to do. We need to have heaven here on earth.
Yeah. Yes.
And having you here and me here, and Toronto is an example of what a multicultural heaven would be like.
And the experiment is unfolding, and you're contributing to that.
Yes.
You know, and it is, you know, just it's really a healing journey.
It is a healing journey.
And
And that is the thing what we play. After you play, you feel healed because there's light been shown on certain subjects that
Yes.
we don't speak about. We don't. Men, I hardly hear anybody say vagina
Yes.
because
we
say
get in
cunt.
trouble for saying it. You know, and it's sort of silly because, you know, women are so empowered.
Yes.
And right now it seems that the forces have gone that, you know, men need to be disempowered. And, you know, again, it's the opportunity is for everyone to be empowered.
Yes. But listen, it's not for women's job to let us be empowered. It's
No.
for the men's job to empower themselves.
Yes.
And for other men to empower other men because women are doing it for their daughters.
Yeah.
And if they do it for the men, then the men become mama's
Right.
boy.
Right.
So we need to be always empowering other men when we see them with a smile, with a gentle spirit, which you do to me when you see me. You always eye twinkle and I think, that's the man I love. And we need to do that, exhibit it every day rather than wait until the person is dead.
Yeah.
Many people go to funerals. I really don't go to funerals much because if I didn't miss you in life, I don't think I'm going to miss you in death. And so, but Toronto is a very expensive city and most people do not have any friends. I see a lot of loneliness around. And in fact, most people have, the only friends they have are the person they're having sex with. And so they don't have time to extend the friendship to, and I'm talking about most men relationship. Because when I was in France and other places, men do have a loving relationship when they speak to each other.
Yeah.
I was so touched by the fact that I said they couldn't be having sex with each other. It's
No.
just the lovingness.
Yes.
Here,
It's a true brotherhood.
yes. Here for most men, if I touch them, they think I want to have sex with them. And I'm saying, no, you can't afford it. So. But that is, if I see right away, it's like, what
Yeah,
does
yeah.
he mean? And men, we don't say, I love you. We say,
Yeah.
I love you, man.
Yes.
I love you, bro.
Yeah.
And when I just say, I love you, I can feel like, okay, this is enough. And then,
Yeah.
but in between men, we touch, we talk, we hold on because that is
There's
how.
all these masks, and you know, here the mask comes down where we actually get to see the whole being. And I'm compelled. If you're watching this, you got to go see the show, simply because you'd be shortchanging yourself
Isn't
and
it?
your friends.
Does it work like this on TV?
I think it does.
Oh.
I think it does.
I look the same. Yes, I do wish. Well, everyone you cannot help but be touched because
Yes.
that is the intention to
Yes.
touch everyone
Yes.
spiritually, physically, and in a soul way. It's a soul opera.
Yes. It's just more than a work of art. It is, I can't imagine everyone, once they hear about it or learn about it, it's got to catch on like wildfire. So you are such an inspiration. I thank you. I can't wait to see more of your work, but this one is going to be just such a treat for us this year.
Did you know, Mr. Hilton, you're my first publicist? Can you imagine after 40, this is my first publicist? And
Fantastic.
so that is,
I guess we have some journeying to do.
We
I
are
look forward
journeying.
to that
And
destiny.
you've inspired this
being
journey and I
discovered.
thank you for
And
this.
likewise, thank you, good sir. Till soon. This is Hilton Milan for Divine Times, Donald Carr, Intelligent Black Man, the Fringe Festival. Make it your reality. You won't be sorry.
Where is the camera? Is it here?
Yeah, perfect.